These days, box offices are dominated by comic books and superhero movies from Marvel and DC. Unfortunately, while superhero movies have improved dramatically over the last decade, superheroes haven't been as influential in the realm of video games. In fact, nearly 40 years after the first superhero video game, many developers still struggle to create worthwhile experiences using some of the biggest names in entertainment today. However, a select few that defy the stereotype to become superb titles we still look back on fondly as not only great superhero games, but terrific video games in their own rights. Hello, welcome to Retrocade. Today we will look at the top 10 superhero games. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to help us grow the channel. Starting at number 10, we have X-Men Origins, Wolverine. Not only is this game infinitely better than the movie it's loosely based on, but it might well be one of the best movie tie-in games of all time. An R-rated experience that doesn't shy away from Logan's capacity to brutalize his enemies, this game represents the first mature take on the character outside of the comics. The game was more than just blood and guts, however, as the action-heavy combat is engaging in its simplicity, not to mention relentless during the impressively designed boss fights. The well-told story also features full voice acting from almost the entire cast of the film, with Hugh Jackman himself lending his suitably gruff tones to the proceedings. Unfortunately, the movie's infamously awful interpretation of DeadPool turns up in the game too, so it isn't all smooth sailing.
My name is Alex Mercer. I'm the reason for all of this.
Next at number 8, we have Prototype. An amnesiac protagonist is nothing new for video games, but Prototype makes it work by giving the main character superpowers after a deadly government virus is released. That same virus further drives the game's mystery, as the player discovers his new abilities and becomes an open-world superhero. Not only does the player have all the typical tools of a superpowered human's arsenal, super strength, agility, and durability, but the protagonist can also merge with people and absorb all their memories. Prototype 2 switches things up by making the first game's protagonist the antagonist and further upgrading the powerful shape-shifting abilities.
Until I can remember who I am.
Motherfucker, humanity isn't dead because we're still alive.
Next at number 8, we have Saints Row 4. If you were to ride a time machine back to 2006, or maybe just spin the world in the other direction, Superman style, you'd probably get a lot of raised eyebrows over the idea that Saints Row would eventually include a superhero game. Saints Row 4 transformed the postmodern sandbox into a profane riff on the Matrix, and it's an absolute blast to explore and destroy as you see fit. You're faster than a speeding bullet and more powerful than a locomotive, exploring the virtual city of Steelport just like Superman would were he a sociopathic, deposed president that loves Bismarcky. That alone makes the game worthwhile, turning the simple act of moving from one place to another into a high-speed adventure. But toss in progressively more intense powers you unlock as you go, and ridiculous slapstick comedy. And it's a game that's hard not to love, no matter how many dick jokes it tells. Number 7 on our list is Gotham Knights. There have been quite a few different Batman games released over the years. However, this new installment actually sees the demise of our favorite Dark Knight. Gotham Knights tells a narrative where Batman has perished, and Gotham City soon becomes flooded with criminals. Now to see Gotham City safe and free from chaos, players will be taking the role of Batman's closest allies. In this action RPG, players will take the role of Batgirl, Robin, Nightwing, and Red Hood. Each character has its own unique attributes and abilities. Likewise, you'll find that this game comes with multiplayer support, so you can play with a friend as you progress through the campaign. Additionally, you'll find that Gotham City is open for players to explore freely. Best of all, there are no level gates, so you don't have to deal with any grinding to deal with enemies in select areas. Enemies will instead be automatically leveled as you progress.
Tempting me to do things I couldn't have imagined.
At number 6, we have Infamous 2. The original Infamous was an absolute classic. It was just the right kind of game that was released at the right time. It was so good that it became an entire generation's favorite from the moment it was released. The sequel, on the other hand, was even better. Infamous 2 is built on the original game and is a refined, better version of the first part. The gameplay and story are improved a lot in this game. It has a karma design system that allows players to either play as the villain or hero of New Murray. If you choose to play as a good guy, you will get treated like an ordinary citizen. However, if you choose to play as a villain, let's just say it would certainly not be a bed of roses. It also has skills tailored to the route you choose.
Lie or die, asshole. Your choice.
Next at number 5, we have DeadPool. It's rare to find genuine laughs from attempted comedy in games, which makes High Moon Studios' DeadPool quite the treasure indeed. This third-person hack-and-slash drops you into the boots of the Merc with a mouth, and lets you loose on hordes of disposable, meat-filled enemies in a bloody action-adventure that never misses the chance to crack a joke. It's a good thing, too, because while the combat starts to get stale by the time the credits roll, that stellar script and wonderful comedy more than make up for it. DeadPool's meta, fourth-wall-breaking antics are enjoyable from beginning to end. Plus, there's a scene where you're able to slap an unconscious Wolverine for a solid 3 minutes. And who doesn't want to do that?
Wake up! Up and at him!
Bye. Do you know what a birthright is, Peter?
At number 4, we have Guardians of the Galaxy. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy game might be better than the movies. It's incredibly rare for a game to make me laugh as much as it does cry. But what Eidos Montreal has created here is something rather magical, both in terms of its story and its execution. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy is a game where you embody everything it is to be a leader, including all the doubts and insecurities that come with it. Even though you only play as Star-Lord, the leader of a Guardians of the Galaxy team who have only been working together for a year or so. What that means is that they're still learning to operate as a team and as an adopted family. It puts you in a great position as a player, allowing you to learn more about each of these characters as Star-Lord himself does. If you're familiar with the comics or the MCU movies, these Guardians feel like an episode of What If. They're familiar characters, with recognizable traits and personalities, but with different backstories featuring characters and events that'll make you build a separate timeline for these alt-history versions. Discovering how they differ from what you'd expect is just part of the charm.
Savior. Monster.
Next at number 3, we have Injustice 2.
Guardian.
NetherRealm Studios' first attempt at a superhero-based fighting game, 2013's Injustice Gods Among Us, was a sound and solid foundation for a franchise in making, but greater things were to follow. This year finally saw the release of its sequel, Injustice 2, which ups the ante in almost every way you could hope for, not least with the addition of sorely missing characters from the first game like Supergirl and Gorilla Grodd. Injustice 2 is a prestigious and meaty fighting game, which really does play as good as it looks. All the depth and nuances of the fighting genre are here, very deep within the game's layered mechanics. But the visual pizzazz of it all is what elevates into something really special. Even if you're not a fighting fan, you can appreciate NetherRealm's dedication to premium presentation, especially when someone unleashes their super move upon an unsuspecting foe. Number 2 on our list is Batman: Arkham City. Following the runaway success of Batman: Arkham Asylum, many wondered if lightning could strike twice for Rocksteady. Thankfully, Rocksteady's gamble to move the action from the compact hallways and confined courtyards of Arkham Asylum to a wide-open portion of Gotham City paid massive dividends. Not only did this allow greater player freedom in determining how to experience the story, but it truly let Rocksteady flex its muscles with regard to Batman's various traversal options. Grappling through Arkham City is a pure delight, but the true thrill comes in perching high above a group of thugs, plotting how you're going to take them down. In addition, the stellar combat of Arkham Asylum received some improvements, and the open nature of Arkham City allowed Rocksteady to cram loads of Easter eggs for comic fans to discover.
There's plenty wrong with me.
Peter Parker.
And number 1 in our list is Marvel's Spider-Man. This PlayStation exclusive with PS4 and PS5 remaster is easily Spidey's best game ever, and topping it will be a tall order indeed. Insomniac Games, the studio best known for the Ratchet & Clank series, took the familiar framework of an open-world Spider-Man game and polished it to absolute perfection, even adding in some heartfelt out-of-costume moments and a quasi-origin story of a unique Sinister Six. But as ever, it's all about the web swinging, and zipping above the streets of New York City is an absolute joy. Within seconds of entering the enormous map, you'll be hooked on the smooth momentum and acrobatic flips that Spidey performs with ease. You'll spend hours soaring between skyscrapers and running on the side of buildings just for the pure thrill of it. Beyond your amazing methods of traversal, Marvel's Spider-Man borrows from the best by mimicking the highlights of the Batman: Arkham games, from heavy-hitting, gadget-encouraging, counter-centric melee combat, and stealth sections that reward you for silently eliminating unaware goons one by one. To help break up the pacing, you'll even play as Mary Jane Watson and Miles Morales in a few, hopefully not too tedious, sneaking missions. Following the success of Insomniac's Spider-Man in 2018, Miles was expanded on in a DLC that is ultimately a game in itself, as you'll have spotted above. Well, that's it for this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to help us grow the channel. See you in the next video.